Good morning, everybody. It's me, Tonic TZW, and I'm back here on a beautiful sunny Sunday morning. It's blue skies out there above Cambridge, and I just thought that as I managed to hit this Kraken yesterday, that I would use it and the time to say thank you to every one of the 400 subscribers to the channel. We did a live stream last night. It did get quite busy. It was a solo, so it wasn't the best. We only had 5 wins against 6 losses, but as hard as I tried to win those games for the teams were trying their hardest to lose the games for us. But we had a good night of it. We had a bit of banter, and we had a bit of Disaronno as well to celebrate the 400th sub, which was somebody new to the channel by the name of Jankonomics1. Um, I don't know if he's related to that wonderful guy that we all sit and watch stream called Jankonomics, but there's a sneaky suspicion there. But even if it is a second account, I'm glad to say we've actually picked up another couple of subscribers since I went to sleep early this morning. And so we're definitely past the 400 mark. Now, this is Kraken number 83 for me. I know some of you have got hundreds of the damn things, but 83 for me, so I'm pushing towards the 100. And excuse my telephone beeping there in my pocket, I'll put that on silent now. Um, But this game absolutely trolled me for shots. I'm in the Warspite. I'm running a dispersion and grouping build along with some AP damage. And for love nor money, could I get any decent shots? Anytime I get a shot on, ship disappears. Anytime I actually land a shot, everything misses bar one. And I'm just thinking, come on, this isn't the Warspite. This should literally be knocking chunks off these guys. So here we've got a ship that's sort of broadside to us, very slightly angled. Somebody else takes them for a chunk of health. I fire all my guns over there, and I think I literally land one hit. Either come straight down, bang. 2 over penetrations. What's that about? They were like slap bang down on the center of him, so unless they went straight through the guy, I don't know what's going on. But this isn't one of those awesome, amazing sailing round guns blazing Krakens where you need your head on a swivel like I often have. Because I'm in a battleship, it's a bit slower and steadier and incredibly frustrating with the long reloads on the guns. And it's like here we see this La Galicianaire. Everybody seems to be parked behind the end of that island, but I see that he's backing out. I'm trying to get some range on him. And I'm thinking, here we go. He's backing slowly out of that one. Now he has disappeared again because nobody's spotting. But I don't even think we land a shot. No, we get one hit and 1 over penetration. So it's broadside salvos at cruisers and battleships that are landing barely 1,000 damage, if that. It's absolutely bonkers. And I thought, we're not even going to get a kill off this entire game if RNG is going to troll us like that. I'm kind of indicating on the map where the red team destroyer is, but it does seem that nobody wants to go out and find them. And I decide to try my luck at the battleship that turns away from us to see if I can actually drop them in a line, sort of stern to bow. And we get some actually better hits off that one. Now I am going to enjoy my morning cup of tea while I do this, so I might actually just have to click my mic off for a second while I take a sip, just so you don't hear me slurping. Now, even though I've been trying to cover that left side of the minimap, for whatever reason, the right side of the minimap has completely collapsed against some cruisers. So Lord only knows what was going on there. There is a Graf Spade there, so I'm just wondering if he's used his bigger guns to take them off the map. But this Nuremberg's low health, he's running in at me. He's slightly angled towards me. But we put two turrets out there, we land one shot, and we barely tickle, I don't know, we barely tickle his anchors, should I say. So we save the other two turrets, he's burning us down. We give him a little bit more lead this time. And where I was expecting that Graf to come around the corner and catch me broadside and pull torpedoes on me, he's decided to run away. Now, I don't know why he's running, because they've pushed that flank hard, and had they continued to push, I think they could have forced this flank round to our cap. But broadside Graf Spear, we get the guns on, and we get the shots off. But let's have a look at what we get out of this one. Here we go. Bum bum bum. We get a good hit. No citadels, but we get a good hit on them. So I know that there's at least one battleship on the right side of the minimap that's unspotted. I think it's a North Carolina. And at this point, I'm talking to my mate Andy that I'm in division with, saying, hey, look, you know, everybody's in parked. I'll beep that one out, eh? Everybody's up parked behind that rock there. There's a cruiser across here. There's a battleship pulling round. And if nobody does anything, he's going to come round and flank us. And there I get some shots across the top. And luckily, RNG appears to be trolling that battleship too, because all he did was wash the decks. But I know this Graf has got to turn out at some point to get around that corner. Because I think what he wants to do is get around the corner and come back up behind the battleship. But he's clever. He hasn't fired his guns. He dropped detection. And so I decide I need to push out, and we're going to try and get this North Carolina spotted. And all the while I'm sort of calling for help and going, you know, come on, somebody help me, somebody help me. And nobody does, because they're only one ship down at the moment, and that's the one that I killed. So it's not looking good from here, is it? I make the decision to boldly go where no warspite has gone before and push out against this battleship, who is broadside to me, and I'm thinking, juicy, juicy, get me some citadels. And just as I'm about to pull the trigger, he takes a turret out, and I decide I'm not going to waste the opportunity. We'll get one turret off, we'll get another turret off. He's fired, so I can probably afford to turn in. But again, even though I've got, you know, the aiming line on his waterline, the shells are dropping short, and I just can't seem to land anything of any value. We're currently on 61,500 damage, which is nothing. But again, there's only one kill in the game. I have no idea what our destroyer's doing out there, but I decide to pop a couple of shots back at that Graf Spey. We get a lead on him, and we drop it straight through his citadel. So RNG's trolled us for the majority of this match. I park behind this rock because I have no doubt that I think it's the North Carolina, has got his guns trained on the end of this rock, and I'm not going to sail out broadside to him at this range, that's for sure. Now there is an Italian battleship behind us. I can't remember which one it is. At Tier 5, is it Andrea Doria? And I'm still calling for help. And we see the plane go up, so he's definitely got us spotted now. But rather than pull forwards, I'm going to back out, because he still has to push up the map more broadside before he starts his turn in. And I want to sort of reverse out and try and keep my turrets over that direction, but at the same time stay sufficiently angled. But I'm looking behind me and I'm seeing that the red team are actually starting to come around and push this flank. And that could be bad news for me, because it means that all of those red ships could actually be shooting at my backside. But red team have lost 3 ships now, 2 to me and 1 to somebody else. So we're only 1 ship difference at the moment, and we're trying to make that up. In fact, there we go. It's a Tennessee, not a North Carolina. That's my old addled brain, you know, trying to remember what ships were in the game. We're waiting until we can get the most out of these turrets across the edge of that island. He's not quite flat broadside, but no sooner do we have him spotted than he disappears again. I'm thinking, come on, that battleship should have it spotted, but then I look and realise that he has run his rolling smoke. So we can't see anything. And then he pops out again, and then he disappears again, and we keep going like this. Again, not quite a broadside, not quite flat, full salvo, and only a few K damage. And this has got to be one of the lowest scoring Krakens I've had. And it's certainly one of the scrappiest Krakens I've had. Because it's almost like I'm trying to punch jelly. Every time I throw a punch at something, it just bounces back. So we decided we can't reverse anymore there. So we are going to push in and push forward. I do get myself spotted again, and I can't remember where that's come from. But the red team destroyer is still running around. And I'm worried about that. I've got a feeling it's behind me. And I do see that smoke screen out there. We start taking shots from across the map, which I think is a Dallas. And I'm sort of saying to my mate Andy, can you get shots on that Dallas? He's like, no mate, out behind a rock. And I'm like, right, well, we'll see what we can do here, and then we'll turn around for him. So we get some shots out at that Tennessee as we start our turn, knowing that we're safe to start our turn. And we get him off the map. So thank you to that Italian battleship for coming and providing some assistance. I'm now waiting for a reload. This Dallas is charging straight up the middle of the map. And we've kind of had enough of losing now. So as I look at him, he does start to turn in a little bit. But he can't turn against everybody. I put the shots out, he takes some damage, and then I pick up the kill. Now, it's not a snipe kill, it's just I didn't have my guns reloaded. You know, I just had to wait those few seconds, so I got lucky. And now it is 3 players 4. We're still at, I think we're still at a disadvantage here. I can't quite remember. No, we're at an advantage here. So we have turned the tide, so to speak. After being held in position for so long, and not really being able to drop any damage on anything, there's a destroyer and 2 battleships. Now the strange thing is, these 2 battleships are in division, and you'd think that with their combined firepower and a destroyer who isn't in division with them but is supporting them, that between them they'd be able to come out here and absolutely clatter our team. But they don't. They're nowhere to be seen. We can see where they were last spotted, and that appears as though they were heading away to the back of the map. But we can't see them. We haven't got any eyes to spot. I don't think anybody's got a plane to put up. So it looks like I'm playing the role of destroyer in a warspite, and I'm going out to spot them. Now I do leave AP loaded because I'm expecting to, bump into 2 battleships. But we're pushing for their cap. I think we may as well have, have the win and see what we can do. We're on 4 kills. If we get lucky, we might get a Kraken. And then we spot the smoke again and think, right, yes, that's where I got spotted from. I get spotted again. I let the team know. And I'm training my guns across that gap, expecting to see torpedoes coming through. But for whatever reason, the destroyer starts shooting at me well before he's in torpedo range. And I'm just lining him up. I'm just waiting for him to put the turn in to launch his torpedoes. But somebody fires at him beforehand. He now starts his turn. We put the shells out there. And bang, it's a Kraken without high caliber, without a dev strike, without a Confederate, without anything. It is a bare naked Kraken unleashed with sub 100k damage. So I shan't say that I'm proud of it, but a Kraken is a Kraken, win or defeat. And when you could literally get a Kraken with 5 hit points, I'm going to take a Kraken with, what's that, 94,700. I've worked for it, I think. But we continue pushing down because we just can't believe that these two battleships um, really are nowhere to be seen. And then one pops up, I think, just on the other side of there, the North Carolina, and then the Leon pops up in front of us. And before we get a chance to actually tick over the 100k damage, the game ends because of time. So there we go. A cheap shot Kraken. We finished top of the board, which is always a nice place to be. We could pick up a decent amount of credits. So once again, thank you to everybody that has come past the channel, that has watched the video, that has clicked the like button, that has clicked the subscribe button and left me a comment. We're going to push now through 450 to 500 because I'd really like to make 500 by the end of November, which is the day that I turn 50. So take care, everybody. Keep an eye out on the channel for new videos, and I will see you next time.